Hello everyone, it is I, NukaClipse, and I've just finished watching Netflix live-action take of Cowboy Bebop, and I got a lot of things to say, some good and some bad, but end of the day, it's my opinion, so don't let it dissuade you from finding out yourself.
How come whenever we have opinions, you just fire your lasers?
Minions, please, do be silent for this video. I have much to say, and if you keep interrupting me, I'm going to get really upset and squeeze your head like a damn lemon, okay?
Many apologies, Master. We'll keep quiet. But, what's a lemon?
Excuse me a second. Okay, so everyone gets what a head being squeezed like a lemon is like, right? We're done? No more questions? Wonderful. And just a heads up for you Hueys watching this. Spoilers ahead. You end up hearing something you haven't seen yourself yet? That's your fault for not listening. Still here? Good. Let's begin. By now the majority of reviews are in, and well, they're kinda not that great. Most of the discontent towards Netflix adaptation of the anime is the changes made to the original stories and characters. Some changing bits and pieces, while others going full-on hard right turn in a different direction. Now it's safe to say, this wasn't supposed to be a faithful shot-for-shot recreation of the anime, but because they attempted a live-action version of the anime and doing episodes from the original, changing some things and expecting fans of the original to eat it up should have been considered a long shot. Fans of anything seeing something they love being redone are going to be rabid about what changes are made. I mean, even I was nitpicking the shit out of things they changed. Why aren't the three old guys at the bar talking it up? Why is Faye even here? What? She's already a bounty hunter? Okay, I guess. Why is Mad Pierrot skinny? He's supposed to be a fat guy. And where's his gun cane? Back. They left. I'm behind. Make that choice. I'll kill him. That last one really triggered me. But I'm getting off topic here. You get my point though. There was a lot changed that was gonna be either loved or hated. Me, I tried to take as much of a balanced and open-minded approach to it. Try being the emphasized word here. So what's so bad about the changes exactly? Well, some of the changes done takes away from those meaningful moments that occur in the anime. You would think there's no way an anime could produce emotion from cartoon characters, but it very much can do just that. An example is Jet and Alisa's story. How in the anime, Alisa left Jet without warning, leaving behind a pocket watch that Jet held onto since. Then finding out she was still around and seeing her, only to find out she was with someone else named Gren, and unwilling to say the reason why she still left. Alisa then finds out Jet is a bounty hunter and is concerned because her new guy happens to have a bounty on him for trying to protect Alisa during an altercation with the loan shark that Rink killed. Spike finds out about the bounty and pursues only to come across Jet, then says he will take over the chase. In a scene with no dialogue, watching Alisa take the wheel of a boat trying to evade capture by Jet, you could feel the emotions Jet was going through. Jet did catch them, and Rick was being a scared chump about getting locked up. Alisa took the gun and shakily shot at Jet, missing each shot. She then confesses the reason she left, that she felt powerless with Jet, because he always knew what to do. He was always right. He wanted more freedom to do things, even if they were terrible choices. Jet understood. Told Rent he would be fine in prison, take care of Alisa when he got out, and he left, tossing that pocket watch into the water, thus ending a sad chapter in his life. Easily one of my favorite episodes in the anime. What did Netflix do with Jet and Alisa's story? They went and turned Alisa into Jet's baby mama. Yeah, that's it. No deep backstory, barely any dialogue, just terrible. I mean shit, I couldn't even find images of the actress and character through Google. If that doesn't show how irrelevant her character is, I don't know what does. To be fair, Jet gets a kid, which that in itself gives this version of Jet his own depth of being a man desperately wanting to be a part of his daughter's life despite the life he leads as a bounty hunter. The loss of such a compelling backstory for Jet is a noticeable issue for the anime fans. How about another one? Vicious. Look at what they've done to my beautiful boy. They turned him from an intense, cold-blooded, insanely dangerous man to some unstable wreck of a man that doesn't give the feeling of a vicious type of person. Now, okay, we're trying to be open-minded here, right? This Vicious, I will say, has far more backstory than the anime was going to give him. Besides the flashbacks of him and Spike together, or Gren, which that's another character we're going to talk about, there isn't much else to know about him. Netflix Vicious gives a story of a man who was broken at a young age by his father, who happens to be one of the elders, making Vicious feel he always has something to prove, but is a constant screw-up about it. This version isn't really that bad. I just think he needs to be a lot more cold-blooded and darker to give that feel of a man who's called Vicious. Okay, so the final example, I swear, is about Gren. Gren's character in the anime was something hardly ever seen at the time. A man who fought with Vicious, considered him a brother in arms, but when he was tried for being a spy, Gren heard rumors that it was Vicious that said he was one. Torn up about this, Gren lost himself so bad he was given an experimental drug to help him, but it had an unintended side effect of raising Gren's estrogen levels, causing his body to grow breasts. The change was so dramatic that Vicious didn't even recognize him when Gren set up a fake drug deal to kill him. Gren did fail to do so, and was injured in the process of escaping in the ship. Spike came to see Gren, and he asked Spike to help him get to Titan, where he fought with Vicious so many years ago. Spike said he wouldn't make it, but Gren said as long as he was heading in that direction, he could be happy with that. Gren was a shocking character to be sure, but honestly, interesting one with a great story. So what did they do in the Netflix version with Gren? Gren is now a bartender slash host. What? You waiting for more? No, that's it. Nothing more than that. Gren's whole storyline? Out the window. Just to play entertainer for patrons. How disappointing. Do you get where I'm getting at with these examples though? The changes done here gutted a lot of really great stories from the anime, in favor of short, bland ones. Big L for those terrible ideas. So for fans of the anime, these are just some of the problems the live-action show has. There's plenty more that we could discuss, such as Faye and Spike's portrayal by the actors being their own version of the characters, which honestly it wasn't that great. But I would be here for a while discussing it. I'd like to move on with some things I actually did like. Yeah, I do got some things. It's not all doom and gloom here, but there isn't a great deal of them, sadly. But I'm guessing even one of the things I did like might even get me called not a true fan. But whatever, we all have our particulars. So what are the things I liked about the Netflix adaptation? Some of the casting choices were pretty solid. Jet played by Mustafa Shakir for starters. I like this guy since I've seen him in Luke Cage. He plays intimidating and badass roles like a champ. Honestly, Mustafa needs more roles to shine the way I believe he does. He plays Jet just like how I expect him to be. A rough around the edges, but overall good guy, just trying to make his way through the universe. I like his portrayal of Jet so much I would have liked to see more of it. Of all the main crew, besides Ein of course, he gave me that anime personality down pat. So as a fan of the anime, I appreciate that greatly. Josh Randall was another great casting choice for the role of Mad Pierrot. The way they introduced his character in the live-action one wasn't nearly as good as the anime, but he sold the crazy laughing killer pretty well. Even did the air combo, though Josh didn't juggle him nearly as well as the anime version. It's still pretty fucking cool. He had that wicked smile and that craziness down. It's just a shame Netflix didn't go for the anime introduction of the character. It would have been awesome. I also wasn't a fan of switching cats to dogs as his view because that damn cat was kind of understandable. Nightmare fuel. But still, it was a good live-action version. And also, can he still be alive? Clearly died in the anime, but this doesn't show him die in the Netflix version. So maybe more Matt Pierrot? Okay, I hope so. I love his character. And on a final note of actor portrayals, let's give a big hand for the best actor on the show, Ein. Give Ein an extra treat in his contract. Best of Space Doggos Award. Another great thing Netflix did with the show was the environments. They look great. Wanted to see more of Venus and its floating islands, or seeing the ships flying around in space some more. I guess budget constraints prevented that from happening, which is a shame. A lot of Cowboy Bebop scenes are set in space, and it'd be terrible to lose that. At least the scenes of ships going through the astrogate was shown, and it looked really cool. The ships also look really damn detailed, like the Bebop looking like a gorgeous piece of junk that she is, and the swordfish looks great. Could've gave it a bit more texture though, too shiny for the way Spike flies it. Still, give them credit for that. Finally we arrived to it. But what's that thing that might get me lost on being a true fan? Well, I actually liked the ending with Julia. Yeah, I liked it. So what? Want to be vaporized about it? Look, would I have preferred a shot-for-shot live-action Cowboy Bebop? Absolutely. But that's not it, is it? While I was bothered by a lot of changes, the majority of the changes were of deep and compelling storylines that was lost. But with Julia, a whole new story was created that was different enough to not lose but gain in storytelling. In the original, Julia is Spike's love, goes into hiding and eventually finds Spike again, can only be killed by the Syndicate before they can get away. The end of Julia. Honestly, after the way Julia was hyped up over the entire anime, seeing her go out so fast felt, messed up. Julia's character was so damn mysterious, and interesting at the same time. It was just too abrupt for my taste, but I get the idea of why it was done. However, this Julia we get to see a lot of. We see her being this innocent person who ends up becoming a local star, eventually finding her way into the arms of Vicious, who, as we know, isn't the most stable guy to be with, but hey, to each his own. Julia then starts to see the worst in Vicious, finally, seeing her liking to Spike, who shows more affection. Now, a quick thing to note, I hated how they rushed the relationship between Julia and Spike. Would have preferred a slightly more drawn-out relationship, but whatever. Long story short, Julia tried to run with Spike. Vicious found out, stopped it from happening, shot Spike, and assumed he was dead. Julia assumed the same, and when she found out he was alive, she was surprised to be sure. But, fast forward to the ending, in the cathedral where Spike and Vicious duke it out. Unlike the end of that fight in the anime, where Spike flies out the window leaving a grenade behind Vicious, the live-action version has Julia make it in time to shoot Vicious, saving Spike in the process. This is where it got interesting for me. Julia tells Spike that he was alive but never came for her, left her with a man he knew was a shitbag and still did nothing. Julia, tired of the men in her life letting her down, has enough. She wants power for herself, to be the kind of woman that doesn't need to be weak again. She shoots Spike and he flies out the window just like he does in the anime, except due to Julia, not Vicious. He then keeps Vicious alive to let him stew in his own shit, that he was beaten by a woman who he treated like shit, and she is now the one in control of the Syndicate. So can Spike possibly do what he does in the anime and storm the Syndicate HQ to not be Vicious, but Julia instead at the top? Can he kill the woman he loved? See, this is what's interesting about this possible ending. It created a version of Julia that survives, but goes down a dark path that even Spike wouldn't be prepared for. I'm hella fascinated to see how this plays out in the end. That's if Netflix does another season, which I feel like they will despite the anime fans' backlash. And the final thing I liked about Netflix adaptation, the music. I love it so much. They kept so much of the original music and added a bit more to it, but still kept that awesomeness of jazz. It's because of Cowboy Bebop, whenever I play a space game, you gotta hear the soundtrack from the show as I play. Space doesn't feel the same without some good jazz in it. There isn't much to be said on it. Music was perfect. Glad they kept it the same. Wouldn't be Cowboy Bebop without it. So, that's the likes and dislikes of Netflix live-action adaptation of Cowboy Bebop. So if I had to score the show, where would I put it on the scale of, let's say, 1 to 5 Eins? I'd give it 3.5 Einz. Oops, sorry, Ein. The show isn't what most fans ask for or even hope for, but I think there was a good attempt at doing fan service while also doing their own thing. And not all of its choices were for the best, but it's as good as it's going to be at this point. If they were to do a second season, considering the new outlook on story elements they can do, we could expect less changing of old stories and experience new Cowboy Bebop adventures instead, which isn't all that bad. Hopefully anyways. But that's the end of the video. Consider subscribing to the channel and stay tuned for future videos. Till next time, Space Cowboy.
Hey, do you think we can speak now? Yeah, the video's over. Should be fine. Finally. I really hate how we can't participate in these videos. Nuka is such a jerk butt. Maybe don't say bad things about the great and powerful Overlord? Ah, it's fine. He always teleports at the end of the video. Just a big old poopy butthead. Turn around, dude. What?